Hey, BJ with Very Basic Bible. Going to go through the Ruth Bible study. Here we go. Share that screen. My mouse is already slow. But you know what? Mouse. You can if you wanted. This is Windows 10, I think. You could here, let's make my face a little bigger there. You could cursor speed, how many lines. But watch this. Let me see. Mouse. Additional mouse options. Adjust mouse and cursor size. See what's that? Change pointer color. I could change to black. Oh, look at this. Make it huge. Whoa. Uh-oh, now we're back to the normal there. Additional mouse settings. Oh, right here. Fast or slow, click lock, pointers. Oh, there it is. Magnified. Apply. Okay. Somewhere on here, you can change the mouse color. So maybe this is it. No. Okay, this one. Right there. Oh, look at that. Yeah. So now when I'm over here pointing to stuff, you can see it. Pick a custom pointer color. My favorite color is kind of a green. There we go. I can't see that very. Oh, that's like it. Let's try this again. Pick somewhere around there. We go. Yeah, that's still not the best. We'll go with the old magenta there. Yeah. Actually, that's good. Right there. So now you can see it's a little different, right? Yeah. Oh, wait. Back and forth. Pointers. Scheme magnified. Okay. Oh, but it changes back to white. We're figuring this out as we go. This is nuts. Adjust mouse cursors. Okay. Make it a little bigger. There we go. It's pretty big right there. It's a little too big probably. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Right here. Ruth chapter 1 we'll read. Ruth chapter 2. Then we'll get to 3. Now it came about in the days when the judges governed that there was a famine in the land. And a man of Bethlehem in Judah went to reside in the land of Moab with his wife and his 2 sons. The name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife, Naomi. And the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem in Judah. So they entered the land of Moab and remained there. Then Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. And they took for themselves Moabite women as wives. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other, Ruth. And they lived there about 10 years. Then both Mahlon and Chilion also died, and the woman was left without her 2 sons and her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law to return from the land of Moab, because she had heard in the land of Moab that the Lord had visited his people by giving them food. So she departed from the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return to the land of Judah. But Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, "Go, return each of you to your mother's house. May the Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me. May the Lord grant that you may find a place of rest, each one in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they raised their voices and wept. However, they said to her, "No, but we will return with you to your people." But Naomi said, "Return, my daughters. Why should you go with me? Do I still, sorry, do I still have sons in my womb that they may be your husbands? Return, my daughters, go, for I am too old to have a husband. If I said I have hope, if I were even to have a husband tonight and also give birth to sons, would you therefore wait until they were grown? Would you therefore refrain from marrying? No, my daughters, for it is much more bitter for me than for you, because the hand of the Lord has come out against me." And they raised their voices and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. Then she said, "Behold, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and her gods. Return after your sister-in-law." But Ruth said, "Do not plead with me to leave you or to turn back from following you, for where you go, I will go, and where you sleep, I will sleep. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord do so to me, and worse, if anything but death separates me from you." When she saw that she was determined to go with her, she stopped speaking to her about it. So they both went on until they came to Bethlehem. And when they had come to Bethlehem, all the city was stirred because of them. And the women said, "Is this Naomi?" But she said to them, "Do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why do you call me Naomi, since the Lord has testified against me and the Almighty has afflicted me?" So Naomi returned, and with her Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, who returned from the land of Moab. And they came to Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Now, Naomi had a relative of her husband, a man of great wealth of the family of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, "Please let me go to a field and glean among the ears of grain following one." Please let me go and glean. Okay. Please let me go to the field and glean among the ears of grain, following one in whose eyes I may find favor. And she said to her, "Go, my daughter." So she left and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And she happened to come to the portion of the field belonging to Boaz, who was of the family of Elimelech. Yeah, 1 second. Eggnog, best stuff ever. Besides Jesus, he's the best ever. Now behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said to the reapers, "May the Lord be with you." And they said to him, "May the Lord bless you." Then Boaz said to his servant who was in charge of the reapers, "Whose young woman is this?" And the servant in charge of the reapers replied, "She is the young Moabite woman who returned with Naomi from the land of Moab." And she said, "Please let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves." So she came and has remained from the morning until now. She has been sitting in the house for a little while. Then Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen carefully, my daughter. Do not go to glean in another field. Furthermore, do not go on from this one, but join my young women here. Keep your eyes on the field which they reap and go after them. Indeed, I have ordered the servants not to touch you. When you are thirsty, go to the water jars and drink from what the servants draw." Then she fell on her face, bowing to the ground, and said to him, "Why have I found favor in your sight, that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner?" Boaz replied to her, "All that you have done for your mother-in-law after the death of your husband has been fully reported to me, and how you left your father and your mother in the land of your birth and came to a people you did not previously know. May the Lord reward your work, and may your wages be full from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Then she said, I have found favor in your sight, my Lord, for you have comforted me, and indeed have spoken kindly to your servant, though I am not like one of your female servants. And at mealtime Boaz said to her, come here, that you may eat of the bread and dip your piece of bread in the vinegar. I just realized something. Boaz says, may the Lord, capital L, capital O, capital R, capital D, may Yahweh reward your work, and may your wages be full from Yahweh. Okay, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. So not the God of the Moabites, but Yahweh, the God of Israel. Then Ruth said, if I have found favor in your sight, my Lord. Wait. Ruth said, if I have found favor in your sight, whose sight has she found favor in? Okay. For you have comforted me, and indeed have spoken kindly to your servant, though I am not like one of your female servants. She's talking to Boaz. If I have found favor in your sight, let's see. Then she fell on her face and said to him, to Boaz, why have I found favor in your sight that you should take notice of me, since I am a foreigner? She's like, hey, I'm a foreigner, but I found favor in your sight. You're taking notice of me? Boaz replied to her, all that you have done for your mother-in-law after the death of your husband has been fully reported to me. So she's obviously talking to Boaz. Up here, right here. Keep your eyes on the field which they reap. So this is Boaz telling Ruth, stay nearby. Don't go to glean in another field. Boaz said to Ruth, listen carefully. Don't go to glean another field. Stay here. Join my young women here. Keep your eyes in the field which the young women reap, okay? When you're thirsty, go to the water jars and drink. Then Ruth fell on her face, bowed to ground, said to Boaz, why have I found favor in your sight? She's asking Boaz, right? I'm a foreigner. How have I found favor in your sight? Boaz said, all the good stuff you've done, and came to a people you previously did not know. You left your home and you came to this home. You were a foreigner, but you did good deeds, and you left that land and you came here, no longer a foreigner. She is, but he's saying you're acting not like a foreigner. You're now acting like one of our people. May the Lord, okay, so may the Lord reward your work. May Yahweh, not the God of the Moabites, but Yahweh. You're not a foreigner, okay? I mean, up here at the very top. And Ruth the Moabitess. The author is really trying to show us this, okay? So, Lord Yahweh. We know that's what he's talking about. Boaz is saying, may Yahweh reward you. May your wages be full from Yahweh. YHWH. I am that I am. The word that talked to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. The dude that talked to Moses from the burning bush. Yes, that Yahweh. The name Elijah means El is EL for God. JAH. Back in the Hebrew, when it gets translated into Greek, into Latin, into English, into several different, Latin was a big language, Greek was a big language. When you translate it, letters and words change. JAH should be YAH. I think I heard another really smart guy. He said it was Elihu or something like that. That's the guy in Job, isn't it? Elihu? Yeah. So Elijah, EL for Elijah. EL is God. Just God. That's just the basic. Okay. JAH or YAH is Yahweh. Elijah's name means Elijah, big, huge prophet in the New Testament. In the Old Testament. Super important prophet in the Old Testament. Got lots of stories about him, did lots of crazy stuff. Elijah means God is Yahweh. Right here, Yahweh. We're not talking about just any random person. We're talking about Yahweh. Then she said, I have found favor. So now Ruth is talking to Boaz. I have found favor in your sight, my Lord. I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord. You are being really kind to me, sir. Ah, okay. May I prove worthy of your favor, my Lord. Lord, I found favor, my Lord, and I hope that, sir. All right. Sometimes the word Lord is used for humans. If you're a servant, you have a master. If you're a servant, you have a Lord. So she's taking the posture. She's going, look, I'm not like one of your servants. Right? Why have you, since I'm a foreigner? I found favor in your sight, my Lord. And down here, I am not one of your female servants. But she's calling him Lord. She's saying, you're my Lord. I'm your servant. You know, using the word Lord that way. Let's see. In case anybody was confused about why did she call him Lord? Why is it using Lord for God? Now it's using Lord for a man. Don't worry. I'll confuse you even more. Uh-oh, look. Almost the same color, mustard. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. There's nothing else. Okay, so the Lord. So Yahweh is my shepherd. Okay. Right here, L-O-R-D. When Yahweh, God, made the earth and the heavens. Okay. Because he's the one who made them, obviously. Psalm 710. Look, 235, 257, 16 in Ruth, 356, 710. That's a lot in the New Testament, not near as many. 59. Oh, 73, I guess. All right. Gonna go find us a specific psalm. Oh, look at, yeah, Baruch. Huh. Second Maccabees, Judith, Tobit. They got the Apocrypha. Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay. Oh. All right. Psalms would be right there. Just above wisdom and Ben Sira. I don't know. All right. Psalm. Go down, down, down. Arise, Lord, save me, my God. Okay, for the Lord sustains me. That's good. So salvation is from the Lord. That's correct. You see the L-O-R-D. Salvation is from Yahweh. Yahweh this, Yahweh that. All right. So we're going to go to Psalm 110, the most cited psalm in the New Testament. A psalm of David. The Lord says to my Lord. The Lord says to my Lord, a polite form of address of an inferior to a superior. Okay. Yeah, let's open this. Open link in new tabs. 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. My Lord, do not pay attention to that scoundrel Nabal, for he is just like his name. His name means fool. This is Abigail, Nabal's wife, comes to David and says, my Lord, don't pay any attention to that scoundrel Nabal. Abigail's Nabal's wife. Abigail just called her husband a scoundrel. I, your maidservant, did not see the young men whom my Lord sent. So she calls herself. She says, hey, David, look. She's trying to stop David. David's going to go and kill her husband and destroy it. And she's like, no, don't do that. You know, and David says, okay, I'm sorry. I won't do that. It's pretty cool, huh? Oh, footnotes. Abigail, on the other hand, acts wisely to save herself and her household. Yeah. Okay. So there's another example of Lord and Lord. Let's see. He stood over him and put him to death. This is a young man who killed King Saul, supposedly. I knew he could not survive his wound. I removed the crown, from King Saul's head, and the armlet from his arm, and brought them here to my Lord, which is, he's talking to David. Okay. He's like, hey, I saw Saul, I saw the king, and I saw that he was dead. And so, he was going to die because he was in the end of the battle. So I went ahead and killed him. And hey, I brought this stuff here. And he calls, so here it is, Lord. He calls David Lord. David gets mad. Why did you strike the Lord's anointed? The Lord. No. Read full chapter. Read full chapter. David seized his garments and tore them. So did all, okay. Right here. David seized his garments and tore them because Saul died. And so did all the men who were with David. David's the new king. Saul died. David grabs his garments, tears them. Oh, that means he's mourning. He's showing extreme grief. Does he actually rip? I don't know. Is it a symbolic, a metaphorical thing? I saw a movie with Jesus, and and the Sanhedrin, the Jewish people, they were saying that Jesus was blaspheming. Jesus was on trial, and the Sanhedrin, the high priest, the Jewish leaders, they were all accusing Jesus of blasphemy. Jesus said, "Hey, I'm God." And so in the movie, Jesus is like, I'm God, you'll see me being God and doing this and that. The high priest, they show the high priest in the movie. So in the movie, they show the high priest grab his and literally rip him. This is blasphemy. Did they actually rip them? Clothes were a hot commodity back then. We could just go to Walmart and buy clothes easy. No, not so for them. They would often have, there's one guy that says, I will give you 10 changes of clothing. And he's like, oh, really? 10 changes? No way. Here, Instead of I'd be like, dude, give me $100. I'd be like, hey, give me a car. 10 changes of clothing. They were excited about clothes anyway. So I don't know. Did they really tear their clothes? Okay. David seized his garments and tore them. So did all men were with him. They mourned and wept and fasted until evening for Saul and his son Jonathan, for the people of the Lord kept in the house of Israel because they had fallen by the sword. David said to the youth who had reported to him, so did they weep and mourn and then David got the youth? Well, probably not. They probably verses 11 and 12 happened after all this. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. They could have done all this and then David called for the youth. Okay. David said, where are you from? The youth replied, I am the son of a resident alien, an Amalekite. David said to him, how is it that you were not afraid to put forth your hand? What did he do? The Amalekite, I stood over him and put him to death. Yeah, because Saul was going to die anyway. Saul turned around and saw me and called me to him. And when I said, here I am, Saul said, who are you? I replied, an Amalekite. Then he said to me, stand over me, please, and put me to death, for I am in great suffering. So I stood over him and put him to death. So the Amalekite was like, I'll kill you, Saul, because you asked me to. David seized his garments and, okay, yeah. Where are you from? I'm an Amalekite. David said, how is it that you were not afraid to put forth your hand to desecrate the Lord's anointed? Lord. David called one of the attendants and said to him, come strike him down. Yikes, man. Okay. So you can see the word Lord being used in different ways here. A Psalm of David. Yahweh says to my Lord. Who's David's Lord? In the New Testament, we kind of assume that David's Lord, in the New Testament kind of explains it. You go to the book of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, I believe, and Jesus uses this of him, right? What most people think is that David is saying the Messiah. The Messiah. David is the king of Israel. And he's looking forward, like everyone was, to the Messiah that was going to come. Okay. So Yahweh says to my Lord, right? So who's David's Lord? Probably the Messiah, you know. That anyway, and David would be a servant of the Messiah, of course. The king of Israel would serve the Messiah. So yeah. So yeah, if you're confused, why did she call him Lord? Yeah. Get a little eggnoggy. HEB brand, the best. So if you're not in Texas, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's tough. That daily dose of calories right there. She's a Moabitess. She says, I'm just your servant. She says, I'm your, hey, Lord, you're my Lord, my master, not Lord God. I'm not like one of your female servants. But at mealtime, Boaz said to her, come here that you may eat of the bread and dip your piece of bread in the vinegar. Let's see if we can find it right here. This is possibly my favorite New American Bible. No wonder, New American Bible. That's a Catholic Bible, which is fine, but that's why it had the Apocrypha, and that's why it's got these strange. I mean, it's not the worst thing, but look, New American Standard. That's the one I like. It's good either way. Okay, right here. Now, this is Jesus talking to his disciples. Now, which of you, having a slave plowing or tending sheep? So you got yourself a slave, you got a servant, you got an underling, you got a person you're in charge of, a person that works for you, right? So this is like you tell them, hey, do X, Y, and Z, and they do it. Of course, you give them food, you give them shelter, you give them clothing, you give them everything, you provide them with everything. You maybe even give him money so he can go get stuff for himself or herself, Yeah. So you provide all the necessities of life, and he works for you, does whatever you ask him to. Which of you, having a slave plowing or tending sheep, will say to him after he comes in from the field, if you have a slave and your slave comes in after plowing the field, which of you would say to the slave, he's just come in from tending sheep and plowing, come immediately, recline at the table to eat? Are you going to tell it to you? On the contrary, will the master not say to the slave, prepare something for me to eat, and properly clothe yourself, and serve me while I eat and drink, and afterward you may eat and drink? He does not thank the slave because he did the things which were commanded, does he? You're not going to say, hey, slave, thank you for doing your job. I mean, it's his job, right? Now, today we do that. We're like, thank you to everything, right? But he said thank you. A master gave the dude a house, gave the dude I almost said car, gave the dude a clothing, gave him food, gave him a wife, probably, right? Made sure he was married, had kids. I mean, master gave him all that. He's a slave. He does not thank the slave because he did the things which were commanded, does he? So you too, you disciples, when you do all the things which were commanded you, say, we are unworthy slaves. We have done only that which we ought to have done. My favorite Bible verse. That's all I'm doing. Jesus, I am an unworthy slave. I am just doing what you commanded. I have earrings. Why would a guy have earrings? Because they're weird. But a verse, Exodus 22:10, I believe it is. It says, if a slave says to his master, I love my master, I want to be with my master, he's a great guy, Then instead of going free after the 7th year, remember the 7 years, you let everybody go free, you give everybody back their stuff every 7 years. Okay, a slave, instead of going free, the slave says, hey, I love my master. The master will take him in front of people and will pierce his ear with an awl, pierce his ear, and that slave will remain his master's slave for life. So a slave can say, dude, I've got it good here, I like it here. I got me a wife, I got me kids, I got me a family, I got food, I got a shelter, and my master's nice. I like my fellow slave friend. I mean, dude, I like it here. Okay. I will, Exodus 22:10. I'll stay here. The master pierces his ear. He stays a slave for life. Got me. Most people, they get tattoos and stuff. They're like, say, John 3:16, or like something. My wife has like an anchor and like a verse from Hebrews on her ankle. I'm like down here touching my ankle, like you could see it. She's got that on her ankle. Got a tattoo on her ankle that says something in Hebrew about God, and he's an ever-present anchor in the time of storm or something like that. I don't like tattoos. No tattoos. Ain't getting a tattoo. I don't want to wear a shirt that says Jesus is my hero. I used to do that. It looked kind of silly. What am I doing instead? Get my ears pierced. I am a slave of Jesus for life. I don't come in and say, hey, I don't come in and expect Jesus to say, hey, come down and I'll feed you. No, I serve him. I give him stuff. I am just an unworthy slave. I've only done that which I ought to have done. Okay, now getting back to Ruth, done with my story and the earrings, done with all this, getting back to Ruth. I have found, okay, where is it at? She fell on her face, bowing to the ground, and said to him, why have I found favor in your sight? You should take notice of me, since I'm a foreigner. Boaz said, you've done all this good stuff. May the Lord reward you. May the Lord reward you. Ruth said, I found favor in your sight, even though I'm not like one of your female servants. And at mealtime, Boaz said to her, hey, when I'm done, then you can come eat. But for now, would you come over here and do stuff for me? Wash my feet. That was a common thing. Would you serve me? Come here, that you may eat of the bread and dip your piece of bread in the vinegar. So she sat beside the reapers, and he served her. She's a woman. She's a foreign woman. This guy Boaz, this is one. People talk about who are the guys who didn't sin in the Old Testament. Who are the guys that were good people in the Old Testament? Who are the best? We got Job. He kind of complained, but Daniel and Joseph. Those are the two people we usually point out. Daniel and Joseph. Forget them. Boaz. Man, I mean, no. Daniel and Joseph did good. This guy is doing really good. I paused because I heard a vroom of a car outside, but when my cats get into fights, one of them will go under his breath and then they're fighting. I heard that and I thought it was my cat's fixing to fight. You'll learn more about my cats on watching these Bible videos than you will about the Bible. 3:37 down here. Okay. Almost time for the Remnant Radio. Let's see. Here we go. It's coming up. How do we miss this? Mike Winger. Yeah, really good. Francis Chan, dude. Oh, you can see it. I don't know why I get these on. Oh, basketball. I do like watching basketball clips and stuff. Right there. Miracle documentary review. Sin proof documentary. Okay, pretty cool. So that's what they're discussing today on the radio. All right. You could go over to Mike Winger's channel and bug him. Sometimes I do. I get in the chat and I'm like, hey, come watch, come watch the Remnant Radio. Yay. There we go. Huzzah, huzzah. All right. Here we go. 17. Okay. Servant friend. Okay, this is Luke 17. Let's see. Servant friend. That's it. We'll get there. Don't worry. I'll find it. Luke 15. I mean, there were 15 instances in Luke. Luke 5:20. Luke 7:6. I'm looking really fast. Friends. So they're a friend of taxless sinners. Has a friend who goes to him at midnight. Friend of journey. I think it's after Luke 17. He has his friends yet because of shamelessness. Now say to my friend, do not be afraid. Friend, move up higher. Do not invite your friends, his friends and neighbors, her friends together, her friends, make friends. Look, okay. Oh no. Friends, huh? No good. No longer. Let's go. No. We'll find it in the NASB. Luke 5. Can no longer be manager. No longer worthy to be called your son. That's okay. John 13. John 13. Let's see. No one did not sin any longer, therefore Jesus no longer continued. No one overtake you a little longer now. The world no longer. Right here. Whole chapter. So now Jesus is talking to his disciples the night before he's betrayed. This is my commandment, that you love one another, just as I've loved you. He's talking to his 12 apostles, that is. 11, because Judas left. Greater love has no one than this, that a person will lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. Verse 15. No longer do I call you slaves. Remember in Luke 17, who of you is going to say to a slave, okay? But Jesus is no longer calling them slaves. Jesus said, whenever you do all that you have done, just say we are unprofitable servants doing what we've been told. That's what Jesus told his disciples to say about themselves. Hey, we're just doing what we were told. We're just doing what God commanded us. This is my commandment, that you love one another. I'm just loving you, okay? No longer now do I call you slaves. So Luke 17, during Jesus' teaching. Now, the very end of Jesus' teaching, what does he say to his apostles? No longer call you slaves. The slave does not know what his master is doing, but I called you friends, because all things that I have heard from my Father I made known to you. Jesus lets them know all sorts of stuff, no longer calls them whatever slaves, it calls them friends. Come here that you may eat of the piece of bread and dip your wine in it. So she sat beside the reaper. He served her. This Boaz guy, he's awesome. He's impressive. She's his friend, I guess. All right. When she got up to glean, Boaz commanded his servants, saying, let her glean, even among the sheaves. Do not insult her. And you are to purposely slip out for her some grain from the bundles and leave it so that she may glean, and do not rebuke her. So she gleaned in the field until evening. And then she beat out what she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she picked it up and went into the city. And her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned. She also took some out and gave her mother-in-law Naomi what she had left after she was satisfied. Her mother-in-law then said to her, where did you glean today? And where did you work? I just saw something, okay? After she was satisfied. She's satisfied. She'd been working hard all day. She also took some out and gave to Naomi after she had left. She also took some out and gave Naomi what she had left after she was satisfied. Ruth gave some to Naomi. Ruth ate, was satisfied, gave some to Naomi. She ate and was satisfied. That's good. Right here. All that you have done for your mother-in-law. She's still helping her mother-in-law. Ruth eats and is satisfied, gives some to her mother-in-law. It doesn't say that Ruth ate it and was like, okay, now I'm done. Now you can have some. I don't think that's it. Okay. She might have given some to her because she had already eaten. Then she carried it home. It might not be, I'm going to eat first and then look what I have. I'm guessing. Look, all you have done for your mother-in-law. She's given her what she picked up. Yeah. May the Lord reward your work. May your wages be full from the Lord. Okay. She's been satisfied. She got plenty of food. The Lord has given her good stuff. You are to purposely slip some out. Boaz is being God's instrument to reward her for her work. Boaz is being the you got water of the Lord's reward. The water is the Lord's reward. I'm over here. How can I get it? It needs to be a pipe. Boaz is the pipe. Right? That makes sense. Water flows through the pipe to me. I get the water. Yep. Pretty cool. Call it a means of grace. But that's getting all theological and such. And we're not trying to get we're just reading it. That's what God is using Boaz to bless Ruth, to reward Ruth. Boaz said, may the Lord reward you. And then he was the way the Lord rewards her. It's pretty cool. Her mother-in-law said to her, where did you glean today and where did you work? May he who took notice of you be blessed. May Boaz be blessed. But she doesn't notice Boaz. She's like, where did you work? Whoever it is, may he take notice of you. So Ruth told her mother-in-law with whom she had worked and said, the name of the man with whom I worked today is Boaz. Right there, Naomi probably, Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, may he be blessed of the Lord who has not withdrawn his kindness from the living and from the dead. Again, Naomi said to her, this man is our relative. He's one of our redeemers, which we've talked about, which we'll probably talk about more. Then Ruth the Moabitess. Why do they name that? Ruth the Moabitess. Redeemer. Who can be redeemed? Not Ruth. Boaz ain't related to Ruth. Boaz a Hebrew. Ruth ain't even a Hebrew. How can the person that redeemed you is your closest relative? Ruth, no relatives. Naomi happens to be her mother-in-law, not a relative. If we're talking biological, Ruth, he is one of Naomi's redeemers, not Ruth's redeemers. And they remind us of that. Whoever wrote this story reminded us of that. Then Ruth the Moabitess. That's why I'm just trying to puzzle this together. There's not a New Testament passage somewhere that explains this. At the end of the book of Ruth chapter 5, there isn't a Ruth chapter, and this is why we said no. It doesn't. There's nowhere in the Bible that explains this. There's nowhere in the Bible that tells me the reason. The reason verse 21 says Ruth the Moabitess is to emphasize the difference. The Redeemer can't redeem a Moabitess, but he's going to anyway. There's nothing nowhere that says that, okay? I'm taking the culture of the day and I'm trying to put it together. The culture is, if she's a Moabite, she can't be redeemed by an Israelite, you know? I mean, she already said, I'm a foreigner. I'm not like one of your women. And Boaz is like, that's okay. Come eat at my table. You know, here's some grain. Let's see how this works. Trash. Okay, we'll just put table. Excuse me. All right, Psalm only 4. I'm gonna go to Psalm 1, and then we'll go to Psalm 2. Blessed is the person who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, nor stand in the path of sinners, nor sit in the seat of scoffers. I remember some people say, nor eats at the table of scoffers. You know, you don't go eating with people, with bad people, you know, you just don't do that. She's a Moabitess, but Boaz is like, come eat with me. Moabites worshipped a different God. Moabites were enemies of Israel. Boaz is, man, I'm fanboy, Boaz fanboy. Hey, real quick. Hey. All right. That's probably why, remember, it's probably the author is probably trying to tell us he's one of our redeemers, but hey, don't forget, Ruth is a Moabitess. Yeah. Then Ruth the Moabitess said, furthermore, he said to me, you are to stay close to my servants until they have finished all my harvest. And Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, Ruth, it is good, my daughter, that you go out with his young women so that others do not assault you in the field. Don't go out with his young women because, hey, he's one of your redeemers. No, he's nice to you. He's good to you. He said, I'll protect you. So Naomi's going, yes, that's good advice. Do stay with him. That way you won't get assaulted. You won't get beat up. That's, yeah. So she stayed close by the young women of Boaz in order to glean until the end of the barley harvest and the wheat harvest. And she lived with her mother-in-law. Then, probably at the end of the harvest, let's see, what's this say? Then Naomi, okay. There's a little, I don't know why I thought that, there's a little V. I don't know why there's a little V. It's on every one of them. 2, there's a V. 3, there's a V. 2V, 3V, 4V. All right. Then probably means after the harvest, right? Why? When the harvest ends, no more gleaning. When the harvest, wheat harvest and the barley harvest are over, food is scarce during the winter time. Then her mother-in-law, Naomi, said to her, my daughter shall not seek security for you, that it may go well with you. Hey, we're not going to have food for the winter, possibly. I need to seek security for you. Security as, yeah. Now then, is Boaz not our relative with whose young woman you were with? Behold, he is winnowing barley at the threshing floor tonight. Wash yourself, therefore, and anoint yourself, and put on your best clothes, and go down to the threshing floor, but don't reveal yourself to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. And it shall be, when he lies down, that you shall take notice of the place where he lies, and you shall go and uncover his feet and lie down. Then he will tell you what you should do. And Ruth said to Naomi, all that you say, I will do. I'm guessing Ruth doesn't really understand, doesn't really know, isn't really sure. She might know Redeemer stuff. They might have had it in Moab. Naomi might have explained to her, here's the Israelite laws, but maybe not. But Ruth says, hey, I'm going to seek security for you. Is Boaz not our relative? Our relative? No. Boaz is your relative, Naomi. But Ruth has left her family, left her foreign gods. She has attached herself to Naomi. She has said, your God will be my God. She basically is family. I mean, that's the way they saw it. She could say, okay, you're a random person who is now here as an Israelite. You're a Moabite, but now you're an Israelite because you switched loyalties. But since she's her daughter-in-law, it seems that they're sticking together. They're staying together. Is Boaz not our relative with whose young women you were? That's the Redeemer. The closest relative is the one that will redeem you. Behold, he is winnowing barley at the threshing floor tonight. Hey, real quick, I have to go I have to go really quick, but I'm going to look up this one thing, threshing floor. That's where you know. Judges. Right there. Judges, full chapter. The angel of the Lord came and sat under the oak that was in Ophrah, and which belonged to Joash the Abizrite, and his son Gideon was beating out wheat. So, okay, there's an angel. The angel of the Lord came and sat under the oak. That's pretty big thing. Cam sits under the tree. All right. Look what Gideon's doing. Oh, and right here, verse 12. And the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon and said to him, the Lord is with you, valiant warrior. Then Gideon said to him, oh, my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why has all this bad stuff happened to us? Yeah, okay. But look what Gideon's doing. His son Gideon was beating out wheat in the wine press. Why? In order to save it from the Midianites. I don't know how big a wine press is, but are you going to beat out wheat in a wine press? Where do you get wine from? Grapes. So if you're going to be winnowing the wheat over here, winnowing barley, he's beating out wheat. You're going to want to do it on a threshing floor. You're not going to want to do it in the wine vat. You know, he's trying to hide it from the enemies. You know, he's threshing wheat in his wine press in order to save it from the Midianites. I guess so they won't catch him doing it or something, you know. So in other words, he's in there trying to a lot of people say he's scared. Well, maybe. I mean, the Lord called him a man, a valiant warrior. Maybe he's not so much scared. Maybe he's just smart. I mean, wouldn't you hide it? If he was scared, then that would mean someone brave would be out in the open. Come and get it, Midianites, ha ha ha. Well, that's stupid. They're gonna come get it and beat you up, and then you got no food, and your family's got no food. Well, that was dumb. Here, hide it in the wine vat next time. No, I'm brave. I'm gonna do it. No, you're stupid, is what you want. Gideon does say, "Oh no, how can I go attack the enemy?" Well, he only gets worried when God cuts his army down to 300 people. He does ask for signs. God tells him, go cut down this idol, and Gideon waits till night. I think that's a smart move also. We think, oh, he's too scared to do it during the day. You try and chop down people's idols during the day when everybody can see you, broad daylight. They're going to come and mob you. You're going to come and attack you. You're not going to survive. They're going to come get you. Do it at night. Duh. Nobody can see you. Back then, they didn't have electric lights. Everybody went to bed at night, so he sneaks out, you know. Like today, the lights and cameras everywhere, but it's still scary to go out at night sometimes. Is Boaz not our relative with these young women you were? Behold, he is winnowing barley at the threshing floor. Okay. All right, guys. We'll stop at verse 2 here because I'm going to the Remnant Radio. So, stop share. Got to go down here at the bottom. We'll pray real quick. Lord, you're amazing. And you're awesome and you're wonderful. And I pray that you would open our eyes to see this, open our ears to understanding, open our mind to see the wondrous gifts of your love for us, to see your wondrous power to destroy the enemies for us, that you can defeat sin for us, Lord. Sanctify us and help us conquer that sin. Yeah. For not... Lord God, help us to remember that we work to defeat our sin, but it's not us, but you working in us. Help us to keep that before our mind at all times. Help keep this Bible story in our mind. We can be like Boaz, Lord. Yeah. Yeah. Amen. Okay, guys. See y'all in the next very basic Bible video.